Hello, welcome back to the Good, Bad and Stupid News. It's Thursday the 5th of September. Going to get straight on with it because I've got a pile of stuff to go through here. So I'm going to be rambling on. Been kicking off all night long, hasn't it, in the Houses of Parliament, or the madhouse, as you might call it, these days, because it's just one big scrap, isn't it? It's like one big wrestling match. But the funniest thing, I always look for the humour in stuff, and I've got to say, Boris Johnson's line when he called Jeremy Corbyn a chlorinated chicken was pretty funny. I don't care what your political persuasion is. That was a fucking funny line. He said there's only one chlorinated chicken in the house, and he's sitting right opposite me, and that was really funny. But obviously, I don't think Jeremy Corbyn found it very funny. But on the darker side of it, he also sacked 26 of his, 21 of his rebel MPs because they voted against him. So he's doing it with a smile, but at the same time, he's like pretty ruthless, isn't he, Boris Johnson? So he's like people with like long careers and, you know, probably longer than he's ever been an MP, and he's like sacked them because they've gone against him. So it's pretty dark, really. It's pretty sort of dictator-ish, isn't it? Because he's like booting people out for going against his what he wants to do, sort of thing. So that's pretty, you know. Jokes aside, there's like a lot of like sort of skullduggery and darkness going on. So. But another joke was Jacob Rees Mogg, as you might have seen a lot of the pictures going around of him. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the for the video's benefit. This is not for the podcast, obviously. There was a picture on the front page of Jeremy Corbyn dressed up like a chicken. Quite funny. I mean, you know, it's like the old fucking turnip jokes, isn't it, when they used to do it to Graham Taylor, the football manager. Jacob Rees Mogg, that was it. The one who fell asleep like he thought he was couch surfing on the benches in Parliament. How he didn't know that was going to sort of get around the country, but all the sort of pictures that people are coming out with are hilarious. There was one where he was like, you know, they're taking a picture of him lying down, and they're putting him in loads of different situations, like The Simpsons and on the Queen's lap, and you know. I'll show you a couple here. There's one there where he's got suspenders on. I'll explain them to the podcast. His one is lying down. It looks like someone's put suspenders on legs there. There's another one. He's on the Simpsons couch. The next one is on lying across the Queen's knee. That one's a good one. He's like on the back end of an old Madness photo because he's bent backwards. And the other one is on a bobsled or skeleton or whatever it is. And that one is on the New York skyscraper on the beam with all the blokes, that old black and white photo. So he's just getting ribbed to shit, isn't he? He's like, that's hilarious. So the jokes that are coming out of the place are not just the people who are fucking saying them, you know. They're telling jokes, they are jokes, and we're all getting a lot of comedy out of it. But if it wasn't such a sad situation, then you know, we could just carry on with the laughs, but we can't because everyone's like fucking panicking about the jobs and stuff, aren't they? So he lost three bills or three things in a row last night. So the opposite have got the upper hand on this as of today. So we'll see where that goes. That's why he's being ruthless, because it's fucking the eggs coming back on his face. But anyway, let's move on to something else. Hong Kong have pulled their bill that sparked months of demonstrations because eventually the demonstrations have won out, haven't they? Because they've pulled the bill that they were going to have to be extradited to China, mainland China, for trial. So that's good. Shows that protests do work, and I think they're more concerned about the place getting smashed up because the protests were actually getting a bit. The silent protests developed into what's it called, violence and police brutality and stuff. So the world's watching, so they've ended up pulling the bill. So there you go. Hopefully that's a big sign for people who want to protest around the world in different situations that it can work. What's the Faulty Towers? Oh, we're moving straight off politics now. I'm trying to get away from. Let's talk about Basil Fawlty, the Basil Fawlty style Belgian hostel, where the owners were fined a touring English football team. They fined them £100 for not finishing their dinner. So they bought the dinner, and because they didn't eat it because it was shit, gruel-like slop, they've said it was. They charged them £100 for not finishing the dinner. I haven't read the whole thing there, but I'll have to. I can't read it now while I'm here. I've left it too bloody late, haven't I? But that's in Bruges. I'm going to Bruges in a couple of weeks. I hope I don't fucking end up at that hotel. I'll have to read that through and get an idea as to where it was. I don't want to meet this Basil Fawlty character. What are they saying there? What was the food like? They're not eating they got fined for not eating their smash style mashed potato burger and gravy. So the guy was obviously a bit touchy about his food. Got a bit sort of he sort of got it, rubbed him up the wrong way there. So he's like decided he can try and charge it. Can't pay that. You just don't pay it, do you? Well, this is on your credit card, so don't know how you're going to deal with that. Call the police. Who they're going to side with. Carry On Films. Carry On bosses are plotting the return of Dame Barbara Windsor, Sid James and Hattie Jacks in 3 new blockbuster films. The Carry On films are basically, if you've watched the Carry On films, they're absolutely hilarious. They were anyway, but they were all sexual innuendo, weren't they? So they've like hit the skids because of modern day takes on that kind of comedy and stuff like that, but it was all tongue-in-cheek and what's it called? It was all like, it was all it was fun. It was comedy. It was like it was sexual innuendos and stuff, wasn't it? And Kenneth Williams was hilarious. They haven't even mentioned Kenneth Williams here when he's the main character. He was hilarious. So they're obviously bringing them back for a load of other films. It'd be good to find out who's actually going to play those characters. Can't think off the top of my head. You can normally pick somebody who might sort of play him. Like Sid James, the only one I can think of is Alan Sugar, who looks like him. But yeah, if they come back, it'd be good to see how that goes down with the Snowflake Society, because they won't like unless they have to sort of put a limit to where the comedy can go with it. But if you don't like that kind of film, don't watch it in a day. You got to watch it knowing what it is, and then take it for that, can't you? Americans have got all those kind of films, or the college frat films, or American Pie. Fucking hell, they've got a film where they're shagging a pie. The Snowflakes love that one. So all the young millennials or whatever. They were right into all that kind of comedy, so it's not far different. Speaking of shagging, Three Lions football fans are not shagging pies, shagging their wives on this one. Three Lions football fans are plotting 2 weeks off for the 2020 Euros by getting their wives pregnant in the next 7 days. Well, that's precision targeting, isn't it? It's like have they got like some kind of support, some group where they've all discussed and worked out what exactly the best. They've got some scientists involved and whatever else. There's some clever sod who's come up with that the next 7 days will give you 2 weeks off in paternity leave or whatever when your kid gets born next year. So I wonder if the wives have got a say in that matter, or whether it's all down to body cycles and everything anyway, isn't it? You could go hell for leather over the next 2 weeks, but if she ain't ready, she ain't ready, unfortunately. She'll have to settle for something else that's on 2 weeks after that or something. But anyway, good luck with that if you're at it. Not sure how many will land. Goal. See if any of them scored a goal. I bet they'll be in that group next year and go like, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Will start coming up. What's this? A former Jeremy Kyle guest told MPs how the Can Show made him try and take his own life. It's a bit dark, isn't it? I shouldn't have brought this one up. I only want to bring this up because he's talking about the situation on the show, and then he went down to people on Love Island who said he was on about them painting a picture of him to be the bad guy, etc. And they put up banners of him saying that he didn't want to see his son and whatever stuff that he didn't actually say. And then going off the Jeremy Kyle thing, he went on to Love Island and some guy who said from Blazing Squad, Marcel Somerville, he said that the producers try to paint you as a hero or a villain, and then they're complaining about it. But I mean, fucking the writing's on the wall when you sign up to go onto any of those programs, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to go onto those, you can see what they're doing to the people on there already. Maybe not that Marcel guy, because he's might have been on the first one, but you've seen Big Brother and all that. They make you out to be a prat, don't they? They sort of do it for their own benefit. That's entertainment. Apparently, it's not entertaining to anybody that don't watch it, because I don't fucking watch it. I don't find it entertaining. But at the same time, if you're going to go on them, you're there to be ridiculed. You're not there to sort out your problems. Let me tell you now. So, and then obviously they leave you to sort of suffer the humiliation afterwards, because you get that shit then every time you go in the pub, I imagine. So think once, think twice, don't go on Jeremy Kyle if it ever comes back. Or it's made for a certain kind of person that thinks that it's going to be funny, or 5 minutes of fame or something, isn't it? So don't do it to yourself. What's this guy? Derek Akora. Don't ever go on Derek Akora either. Teddy Psychic, Derek Akora, or don't ever let Derek Akora come round to see you, to talk to you about your dead relatives, because he's one of the biggest bullshitters out there, isn't he? Telly Psychic, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Derek Akora is under investigation after misleading Facebook posts, because people have people claim they've been offered free readings in exchange for liking his Instagram page, and then they get bombarded with spam messages asking them to get in touch because a dead relative wants to speak to them. So as soon as they get in touch on their Instagram, somehow their dead relatives are fucking hotlining Derek Akora and saying, get in touch, we want to have a chat. So I mean, if you believe that, then he's just playing on people's vulnerabilities with that, isn't it? So but he's a comedy, if anything, because if you've ever seen some of them ones, that one where he said Mary loves Dick, he's getting a message through, Mary loves Dick, Mary loves Dick. That was absolutely hilarious. That was nearly as good as the Chlorinated Chicken line, but he weren't doing it as a joke. So that was the funny part of that. Anyway, if you are into that, find your local one. Don't get in touch with Derek Akora, because he's probably a lot more expensive, I imagine. What's this? A drunken doctor was arrested and spent the night in a police cell after he attacked his estranged wife in a row over the TV remote control, a tribunal heard. Robert Ballantyne called her a cunt. Oh, sorry, excuse my language. When he found her watching television at their home, it was claimed, said it's my fucking TV. And then they had a battle over the TV remote. So that relationship's not in good order. I can see that. Rowing over the TV remote. I want to watch EastEnders. I want to watch Love Island. I think you need to move on. Probably have got no choice now. He's taken his TV and he's off, or she's kicked his TV put a foot through the TV and kicked him out. One of the two. But beer is up 10p. Beer at the average price of a pint in the UK soars to £3.79. Where's that? Because that is nowhere near me. I can tell you that because to add £2 on top of that if you want. If you're looking where I am, boozers in Shropshire pay at least £3.46, but Londoners are stung up to £4.57. £4.57 in London. I'm paying more than that. Brighton, £5.80 I think I paid the other week. Accidentally, when I ordered something, you know, when you order a random pint that you don't know what it is, and you think, oh, that looks good, sold by the marketing picture, £5.80. I think I had to offset that then by ordering a can of Skull at my next round. But yeah, so I'll be gravitating to the Wetherspoons. Wetherspoons is always cheap though. I mean, spoke about that before. I mean, if you want cheap, Wetherspoons manages to be cheap all across wherever you are. For the same pound, £3.50, you get a fucking 3-course meal and everything with it. Probably get the shits along with that as well, but still, you know, just don't eat it. Brad Pitt was in AA. Brad Pitt says he went to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings for 18 months after his breakup from Angelina Jolie. He said he had all these men sitting around being open and honest in a way that I've never heard. It was really freeing just to expose the ugly sides of your nature. There's a great value in that. Actually, no, I don't know if anybody's... You'd think... Because AA is Alcoholics Anonymous, isn't it? And you think as soon as Brad Pitt walked in, everyone would be like, fuck yeah, telling everybody, Brad Pitt's in the AA meeting. But if they probably can't, because they're probably not telling anybody else that they're at the AA meeting. So they're kind of damned to keep this sort of celebrity secret, if you like. Probably all got selfies with him and that though. But yeah, so he was in AA for a long time, and he also used to smoke loads of weed. I really became a bit of a hermit and just bonged myself into oblivion. He said, my life wasn't the lottery, it appeared on the outside. So I'm just saying this one because it just shows that how somebody looks like they got it all, the glitter, the glamour, behind closed doors. There are AA meetings, or Brad Pitt, he's got all the looks, all the money, all the films, the life anybody would strive to have, and he's like struggling to go to, or having to go to AA meetings and talk about what's going on inside. So there you go. Maybe he's been to Brighton and fucking got stung for a couple of those £5.80 pints. Doesn't matter how rich you are, there's a bitter taste as you're swallowing it. No, but it's good that you can come out and talk, because that helps other people, isn't it? So do it that way. Don't go on the fucking Jeremy Kyle show. You know what I mean? Do it that way. There you go. Brad Pitt does it. You know, go to these groups or watch fucking YouTube videos or something. Get your inspiration from somewhere else. Not make it even worse by going onto one of those programs. Beans means Heinz. Where are we? Beans means Heinz. Hungry Steve Smith. This was in all the papers. This was like fucking headline news. This was up there with the Brexit and everything. A guy who bought a can of beans and he poured out the tin, and there was just one bean in the whole of the can, and just a like sauce and that look. So he's got like and the first thing he thought, as soon as he had that one bean in that tin, was to get on the phone, ring all the newspapers, and fucking get he's like the star of the day, Steve Smith. It's funny though, isn't it? He's just got one bean in his baked bean tin. But that's what, if you're in any other country and you hear this podcast, that's what makes the news in England. He's like one bean in your can. He could have bullshitted. He could have made that up just to get famous, you know. So there you go. He's probably write a book, bring out a blog. He's like going to be on. He should be on the Jeremy Kyle show. With that story, he should be on fucking pointless story. But it's funny though, isn't it? So first thing I thought that is going on the podcast or on the video. So there you go. That's what's interesting news. Forget all the doom and gloom. A dad who said his flight was delayed by 2 hours because they didn't have a captain. He happened to be a pilot, and he said, "Don't worry, I'll fly." Hi, I'm standing in the terminal doing nothing. I've got my license with me and my ID. So 38 seconds later, the phone back 38 seconds later and said, please, pretty please, with a big cherry on the top, can you fly the aeroplane to Alicante? Fucking hell. So luckily he's a pilot. I can't just say that to anybody in the thing. Can anybody here fly this plane to Alicante? So anyway, they all didn't get a delay because of that, so that's good. Arrived there safely. He could have been a shit pilot. He could be a pilot, doesn't mean he's a good one. So they're chancing it, and they ain't checking his credentials, or did he work for EasyJet? I don't know. It doesn't say whether I don't know if it says whether he worked for him. Just go, oh, you're a pilot, are you? Okay. You can't just believe somebody, can you? Anyway, you'd find out as soon as the plane fucking went straight through the floor. Anyway, that was a good story. That was meant to be a good story. So snowflake parents, snowflakes are back. Snowflake parents accused the children's author of body shaming in a book about the 1980s. From the 1980s about elephants. The book is called A Piece of Cake. It's called The Large Family Stories by Jill Murphy, and have sold over 5 million copies. So 5 million people are quite happy with these books. But somebody on Mumsnet has said, I just can't bring myself to read A Piece of Cake to my dearest daughter because it's fat shaming people, because it's about a load of fat elephants. I stopped on page and I said we'd do a different book. I disliked the message, and another moaned, my mum bought my kids the book and I declared it was going straight in the bin. It's unhealthy and full of disparaging comments aimed at the mum. Are you a fat mum? Are you an overweight mum? Or you got a problem with is it coming back on you? Let's have a psychological situation here. Are you seeing something in you that's the reason you've binned the book? It's a book about elephants, and somebody else has quite rightly said it's a book about elephants and no 4-year-old will care, assuming your child isn't a cartoon elephant. There you go. There's sense and sensibility. So ridiculous. You can get uptight about a book about fat elephants. I mean, I'm not going to say any more before I dig myself a bigger before I get accused of being a fat shamer. I'm not. I'm just saying you got to take a look at why you're saying that. Because your kid ain't going to give a shit. He's just going to laugh, isn't he? I remember I read a kid when I was the book when I was a kid. Elephants don't sit on cars. Was that about a fat elephant? It was about a big elephant squashing a car. So is that got a connotation to body shaming? No idea. Unless I get a problem then with fat people sitting on my car or something, God knows. Anyway, let's move on. I don't know where I'm going with that one. A retired couple whose Cornish holiday home is called Hollybobs have been hit back of an image of its cringy name went viral. How does shit like that go viral and nobody knows who I am? But fucking a name Hollybobs photo goes viral. I've been tweeting for about a year and I can't get a tweet fucking sent around by anybody. But I'll have to fucking change my game, I think, by this is one. But somebody else has wrote back made a little joke saying, time to go to worky poos. Because it's obviously a silly kind of twee name sort of thing. But the couple have hit back saying their grandchildren named it, not them. And the critics should get a life. There you go. They'll change that name pretty quickly now. A burglar who squeezed through a cat flap and ate a fish cake was nailed after police found his DNA on the remains. So there you go. If you're going to break into somebody's house and eat their food, make sure you eat it all, because I'm surprised the police even bother checking it, to be honest. They normally don't bother at burglaries, do they? They normally just go, oh, tough, you know, but there you go. You've been caught. Named and shamed, Jay Geener, whoever you are. A drug addict has complained about the scrapping of plastic straws. The man in his 20s told a refuse collector in London that the paper straws collapse when he snorts cocaine. So there you go. Come on. That's he's obviously like not happy with his apparatus now. He's having to think of other things. You can use other straws. Just go and buy some straws from somewhere else. He's a drug addict, so I was going to say use the money, the rolled up note, but he doesn't. He just spent it on the drugs, hasn't he? So left-handers are better at verbal tasks because their brains form differently. A study shows. That's me. I'm left-handed. I don't think are better at verbal tasks. I don't think so. People with genes linked to left-handedness are better at coordination in areas of the brain that deal with language. The difference could start at the brain developing in the womb. But we're at a higher risk of developing Parkinson's and higher risk of becoming a schizophrenic. Well, as I said, I've got nobody watching these videos or listening to me, so I feel slightly schizophrenic when I'm sitting here talking for half an hour to myself, pretty much, but high risk of Parkinson's. I can tell you I'm left-handed and I'm absolutely shit at DIY. So if you are left-handed and you're shit at DIY or anything like that, then well, don't let me know. Just think that I said it as well, because it might be a left-handed thing. I don't know. No, let me know. Let me know. Because it could be a left-handed thing, because there's certain things I'm fucking really shit at, and I could put it down and blame the left hands things. So then if I know that, and not just me being thick. E.T., the actress who played the mum in hit movie E.T., believes aliens are on Earth. Of course they are extraterrestrials. Of course they are probably among us. They're here to encourage us to look at the higher vibrations of life, the higher choices of life, and really to talk about love. Who played Mary, mum of the 3 kids who discovered E.T. in their family's tool shed. So she has got some strong weed. I don't know if she lives in an area where the weed is legal, but she's definitely found some. I don't diss in the fact that she believes that aliens are among us. I just diss the statement that she said that they're here to. I mean, she actually spoke to one of them, and they told her that. They might very well be among us, but they might be here to steal our jobs, take our jobs. No, to learn off us, or who knows. They're here to do something. They're not here for the expensive beer anyway, I'll tell you that. They might all be sitting in Wetherspoons when they realise that they do look, a lot of people in the Wetherspoons do look alien-like, don't they? But I like it in there. I think my kind of people. Maybe I'm an alien. Maybe I'm drawn to aliens. Where am I going? No idea. Right, going to get off with what am I going to finish up on now? I think I was going to finish on one of those, and I've bloody done it already. Bake Off attracted 9.4 million viewers on its first episode. I get about 2. I told you the world is fucking wrong. It's upside down. I don't get what the deal is with the baking at the moment. That's another thing I'm shit at. Baking. Left-handed. Not so sure whether that's related, but I'll take it. All right, I'm going to finish up on this last one. The man who founded one of the largest gay conversion programs in the US has come out, wait for it, as homosexual. That's right, anti-gay conversion. He was converting people. I've seen the video of this guy actually before, and he's now he's gay. He's all gone the opposite way, and he's been pro-gay. But he set up camps where people would go into the mountains, like you would go on these yoga retreats and whatever. And you would go and try and become not gay. He would sort of talk you into, or to do these meditations and stuff and try and stop you being gay. Turns out it might have turned into some kind of orgy, or he was probably the one there who was getting all the sexual urges and stuff maybe. But he's actually had an about turn. or was he gay the whole time, or was he hiding the fact? Because he's obviously doing a gay conversion program. He obviously wasn't feeling gay at the time, unless he was and he had all the urges. I believe the gay community and the world was lying about homosexuality and this whole subject. I felt it was this big ruse, and there was a lot of deceit. I was trying to tell the truth. Now I think the complete opposite. I believe ex-gay ministry is a lie. Conversion therapy is not just a lie, it is very harmful. Well, there you go. So he's been preaching that for a long, long time, and now he's come out and said that it's harmful. So I don't know whether he did it under the guise of some kind of religious thing that sort of hooked people in, because if you're gay, why would you want to sort of converse against it unless you thought it was wrong because of your religious beliefs or whatever else. Anyway, good news. They've all hit the skids, those things, and he's decided to go out and enjoy himself, and now you'll find him on his float at the gay prides all around the world. He's probably like fucking having a great time. So just goes to show, stick with who you are, enjoy what you do and what you like. Don't listen to anybody. And don't go on Jeremy Kyle. Anyway, I've been Wayne Lawrence. I think that's going to be it for today, so I'll see you again tomorrow. See you, bye.